Welcome to the Solbrick show, where I'm working on this model railroad-inspired Lego layout. In this corner we have the farm and the mountain area, and if we move over to this other corner we find the town area that's inspired by the Swedish 70s and 80s hit TV show Skrotnisse. That was a show with really cool models in it. I'm not making a perfect replica of it, but I do try to go for the same kind of style, a mix of realism and cartoon. A big difference is that I have a train track going through the whole layout. This table barely fits the turn of the tracks, so that's a bit of a challenge that I have some solutions for. Back here, behind the fire station, I will add a small skyscraper in today's video. In coming videos, I will start adding more buildings in front of the track to hide it. They will only be facades for the time being, with walls going up here, so that the train still can pass inside of them with ease. I have this narrow gap between the fire station and the tram bridge, and that's where I have this staircase. This will be reinforced to act as a pillar for the skyscraper to rest upon. Alright, so I've added this pretty Yankee build that not even Mr. Beast would pay anyone to stand on due to safety reasons. But I want to use as few pieces as possible in these kind of areas that aren't visible in the end. The trains should have enough space here to go through without any hassle. I mean, it really does look fragile, like my male ego. That's a play feature. This will be against the wall and wedged in between other buildings, so I feel confident that this will be at least 35% safe. If we continue up here, we can see the first floor of the skyscraper itself, and I put in that old Octane petrol pump as a bit of a decoration, and a celebration of the fossil fuel industry. That's not a shady business at all. The floor will need some tiling in my classic chess checkered pattern that I usually go for. There's a bit of a gap there, I just noticed. There's also some color variations of the white bricks due to age and exposure of light, but I think in this case that just adds to the realism of this being maybe a building from the 60s or 70s when this kind of architecture was popular. Now I've only built walls for 3 of the sides, so it's open on the back side. Let's have a look at that. You can see that it's empty on the inside, and if you have followed this channel for a while, you might know that I like to build interiors for my buildings, perhaps inspired by the new Lego The Office set that has a lot of cool interior details. I put the Octane sign on the side like this. For the rooftop, I'm going to stack white bricks to make it look a bit thick. This will be inspired by the Folksam skyscraper in Stockholm, Sweden. My mom used to work there, and I had one of my first summer jobs when I was a teenager over there, working as a janitor. The tiling is in, and the pump just looks amazing there. I've also added an Octane sign over the entrance. Another sign here on the side, and a ventilation grill from an old Lego Star Wars set. Up here the sign is now built in with all these bricks, and I've added a sticker sign on the other side. Nothing special on this side. On top I tiled the tiles so they look nice and smooth. And of course the communication tower thingy is there with its antennas and satellite dishes. A bit inspired by the look of the old World Trade Center. On top we have this hatch that leads to nowhere. Of course we have our lovely ventilation unit, but due to the energy crisis that's turned off. I like the grey macaroni piece. It helps smoothen out the otherwise bricky Lego look. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Zoom out a bit to take in the vistas. Let's pop it in its place. While working on this in its place, I realized that there will be a wall on this side, so I adjusted the petrol pump a bit so we can see it a bit more easily. Anyways, the building sits quite firmly here against the wall, and with the pillars fixated by the base plate studs. And it will be even more stable with the old fire station put in place. The sign is really well placed there. On this side, this will be covered by the coming buildings, so make sure to subscribe for those videos. Let's move around a bit to get a decent look. That just looks dang cool. I reckon with the scale and those narrow tall windows, that helps selling the illusion of this being a taller skyscraper than it actually is. And the fact that it's raised from the ground already from the first floor tricks our brains to read in that there's more floors hiding behind the fire station, so we get at least the feeling of 2 extra stories almost for free. Wouldn't it be interesting to look at this retro kind of skyscraper design through a retro filter?
Well, I'll be darned. That looks honky-donkey,
as they used to say in the old retro times. With that said, stay out of the nonsense, stay awesome, and please subscribe. And watch out for the revolutionary chickens! Ah!